See who comes in. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you've had a nice end to your weekend here. It's LK, along with Dr. Richards here.
Hola, amigos.
Not again. Please, go back to your true self.
Also known occasionally as the real Dr. VENKMAN. And then, of course, down there in the bottom, we've got a Professor Pixel. How you doing, Professor?
Pixely.
Pixeling. Okay. Well, I saw you had some interesting observations there about Batman Cape Crusader. I've only watched 2 episodes. I'll just say I disagree in part.
Well,
I agree. I concur in part and dissent in part. So, and I can fully understand why people have problems and issues with the show. And then, hey, popping in here is our professor of comics and all things comic, Eric Breen.
I'm trying to eat a ho-ho here.
Huh. Oh, a ho-ho. Nice.
Get a big delight out of every bite.
Not a big delight. You see how small they are now?
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
get a little delight.
Wait.
They are smaller than.
No, you get a big delight in your one bite that it takes to finish now.
Eric, why are you eating a little hoe?
No, he's eating a ho-ho.
Oh, okay.
Super ho. Mini.
Popping on are Melissa and Amy. Hello, ladies.
Hello, hello. How do? So what do we got this evening? Comic covers, I know.
We have comic book covers from the 1950s, or is it? Or maybe it's all from the year 1950. Yeah, you know, it's. I've taken just a quick look at the thumbnails, and it's an eclectic selection here that England team has put together.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. I don't think this is going to be a 10 fest, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. Before we get started on that, wait and maybe see if our chat is come in a little bit more here. And don't forget, if you do like this content, please like and subscribe, share out the channel. Click that bell for notification. It's really important because YouTube is kind of messing around with live streams lately. So they have not been the best at getting the notifications out there. And in fact, if you really want to make sure, if you see an upcoming stream, make sure you click on the notify me option there for that particular stream, not just on the channel.
Other thing is, if you're on you're watching this on your mobile device, make sure that you have the bell checked, and also go into your YouTube settings, little gear by your name, and make sure that notifications is turned on.
Yep.
Because a lot of people have problems of one of the updates that their notifications are turned off.
Oh gosh, by default? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, by default.
Yeah, so they're doing all kinds of little things like that. You can determine for yourself what reasons you think they are. Lastly, definitely, if you like what we're doing tonight, super chats are more than welcome. We'll read them on the air here. If not, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can always drop $1 in the Ko-Fi bin. The address is there, ko-fi.com/Englandteam from I Love Comics.
And there's the auctions on Saturday. You can pick up some neat books for good price.
That is right. You're correct. There is a budget auction every Saturday night, usually kicking off around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we have a good time and lasts for a few hours. And we always have some very interesting books to look at, to bid on.
But tonight we're giving away a Professor Pixel bobblehead, apparently.
Awesome.
He knows how to fill the screen.
Baby, don't hurt me.
So as we get set to go here, let me bring up the look here. Let me find which one looks best. No, that one makes it big enough. For those of you who haven't joined us before or watching after the fact, welcome. We rate these covers on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being god-awful, all the way up to 10, which is super awesome. We do appreciate your participation and input. So if you're watching live here, you can go ahead and put your rates in the chat. Whole numbers only, please. If you're watching after the fact, please put your rankings down in the comments, and we'll add those to the scores for a future show. Anything else there I've missed, Venkman?
I think you hit all the uhs for tonight.
Okay, thank you.
What a dick.
Yeah. I'm not as proficient as Donald Trump. I will.
Have you seen my face? Of course I'm a dick.
So it's one of the incredible things that you do watch a Donald Trump speech, how he can go for 90 minutes, 2 hours, and not use any crutch words. It's really incredible.
He's reading out the teleprompter, isn't he?
Nope.
Even well, no.
Can we get to the
typical-
cover, please?
A typical rally speech. Usually, it's about like half off the teleprompter, and then he'll start riffing off of whatever subjects on the teleprompter and add facts and information to it. So yeah, he doesn't say I mean, he's a great speaker in that way. But we're not here to talk about politics. Whatever you decide, it's up to you. We are here to talk about comics from the 1950s, specifically the year 1950, and we are going to kick off tonight with Apache Kid.
Okay.
And based on the standings here, when I clicked on the button, it is Pascal Richards there that gets to kick us off.
Alrighty then. An Indian or ZACK. The most mysterious hero in the West. The Comanche strike. Oh, everyone's on strike tonight. Neighbor was earlier, and now the Comanches. Shoot him down like a dog. He's trapped now. I like how the one guy, he's got the nice gloves, and he's like, he must be the main villain. He's got the fancy gloves, the purple. The horse. Look at that horse just standing up there behind him.
Frog, can you put down the comment bar or the scrolling bar?
The ticker, so you can see the full book.
Yeah. Also in this issue,
The Rails of Death, Curse of the Night Wind, and many more thrills. Starting the Apache Kid. It's a lot of yellow. But other than that, though, it look a little crowded. I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8. All right. Let's see. Pixel.
I have some problems here. You said Indian or ZACK, and that's not fair. It says Indian or white man, not Indian or racist. So I'm actually going to agree. I think it's a little bit busy. I do like the use of all the colors, though. Even with that much yellow, I'm very intrigued. I think it would be a fun read. I think it's going to be an 8 for me.
Another 8. All right. Eric Breen.
8.
Another 8. I sense the trend. Melissa, do you agree with the trend?
Yeah, I think so. John's in a very exciting situation here. Yeah, I think 8 works.
An 8 works for you. Okay, Amy.
Yeah, I give this an 8. It's nicely drawn and done well enough. There's nothing really wrong with it, not exceptionally so, but yeah, an 8.
Yeah, well, I mean, no peer pressure. You don't have to give it an 8 if you don't feel it's an 8. So.
Oh no, I don't think it's. I feel like if you say something's meh, that doesn't mean it's good. It means it's meh. This is good. Yeah.
Okay. It's a little too busy for me. I'm gonna go one notch below and give it a 7. Let's see what the chat says. Good evening, chatters out there. Hello to Ethereal Dragon. We start out with Joe giving it an 8, saying the cover is cool. We get a 9 from Ethereal Dragon. We get an 8 from Jackson Roy Kirk. And let's see, Joe, yes, Curse of the Night Wind is a great Western title. It could also be a great title for a parody as well. Maranya is saying it's Apache Kid, an action-filled cover, lots of blurbs, possibly unnecessarily explain what's going on. Good design, forced perspective with smaller figures. Score it Apache 8. I sense a trend. And welcome, Jay Lucian. It's a 7. And there's Eddie. Yeah, Eddie, you're more than free here to rank the covers here. we'll go ahead and see what we have here as a total score for the moment. Dan Alvin comes in and says it's barely a 6 in his eyes. All right. So we've got 12 there. Oh, and Eddie comes in with a 7. All right. So our total thus far is based off of 1 6. We've got 3 7s, 8 8s, and 1 9. So our first cover of the night is going to crack the 8s. So there is Apache Kid in the 8 category. All right, we are moving on quickly here, and let's see, Pixel, you get to start us off with Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica.
Boys think it's the greatest thing, but it's us girls who pull the strings. They're the ones who wear the pants. We're the ones who make them dance. Here's my problem. They have the opposite of Pixel hands. Those are super tiny. They're not dainty. Those are baby hands. Like, I do like the puppet show going down below with the marionettes. But those hands are very distracting. I think I'm going to have to go with a... I have to be rough. It's a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
All right.
hands.
Baby hands!
Yeah. Eric, since I know that you probably picked this up off the spinner rack, what do you think?
You know, Pixel, just because you can palm a globe doesn't mean you have to critique these little AI hands. I bet you didn't know AI was a thing in 1950.
No, they have all their fingers.
What?
They have all their fingers. I can see them. They're just tiny.
Yeah, that's a lot of the AI hands have all their fingers too.
But they usually have extra.
But this is a 10.
All right.
Wow.
How? Because I can see past the hands.
Or you want it to be a 10?
What's that?
I said, is it because you actually see it as a 10 or you want to believe it's a 10?
What difference does that? What difference at this point does that make?
You want to believe it?
No, it's
Believe, yeah.
It's a perfect cover to introduce this title.
Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Melissa.
Okay, I think if I have any words of protest, it's the idea that the girls have any sway over Jughead. He's above all of it. He's Switzerland.
1 point.
So, but besides that, I mean, it's pretty funny. Let's see. Oh gosh,
It's kind of hard because there are some difficulties with the drawings and challenges there that are pretty big. Yeah, but it is kind of a clever concept, and some of the elements are brought together in a creative way.
Things went right too.
Yeah,
I think I'll give it a 7.
A 7 from Melissa and Amy.
boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Yeah, I think I could do that too. Their little like witches like caption here, like they're almost like casting a hex, makes me feel a little uneasy for them. I'm like, oh no,
those are puppets.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, that doesn't sound like very positive energy to start off a series with. But it's supposed to be funny, so I'll try not to take it too seriously. But yeah, I think 7. Yeah, I don't think it's as good as the previous cover, but it is a totally different subject. So
okay, 7 from Amy, and let's see. Yeah, if Pixel hadn't pointed out the hands, although I probably would have seen it at a certain point, but it's Veronica's left hand, the one on the far right of the cover, that is just bugging me the most. It is so tiny and so just out of proportion with everything else that I can't go. I'll join the 7 crowd because I do like the kind of the rest of it, and I like the theme and the idea. VENKMAN.
Gonna go with a 9.
Whoa. Okay.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I love
It's real life right now.
Trying to suck up to his paw.
No. It's basically like real life with girls with OnlyFans. There's a lot of simps out there giving them money. They control everything.
Well, that's very true. And once again, it's one of those interesting things. Looking at this is a cover from 1950, and it's talking about how the girls control the boys. So,
Nothing's changed in all these years.
Well, exactly. Well, more importantly, like all this stuff about female empowerment, things like that. There's been variations in flavors of it for 100 years. So let's see what the chat says. Eddie Raymond comes in talking about it's a love triangle. So maybe give me a 7. All right.
Between the boys down there?
No.
It would be funny. One of them had a little
I'm gonna
burger.
say no. Jackson Roykirk joins Pixel with the 6. Jay Lucian and Joe both go with 8s. Glenzer comes in with a 9 and says he's shocked the show started on time. Well, that's because I'm running it. MK, hey, welcome MK. He'll say it's an 8. Ethereal Dragon comes in with a 7. And Maranya is saying, Betty and Veronica admitting to playing the guys as puppets. Typeset dialogue is from that era, but it is annoying. Even with the flaws, this is a puppets 10. All right. And let's see. Joe saying, witchcraft in an Archie comic. That's just crazy talk. Yeah, wink, wink. I don't think they've met Sabrina at this point yet.
Okay.
I think Sabrina is a 60s creation, right, Eric?
Yes. 61 or 2.
Okay. And Ethereal Dragon is noting both of her hands are tiny. Yes. For definitely on Veronica's side. All right. Let's see what we total up here. So again, kind of a wide spectrum of scores. So I have a feeling this is probably going to land in the it might catch the 8. We'll see here. Because we got 2 6s. We do get 5 7s. We do get 3 8s. We do get 2 9s. And we do get 2 10s. And yeah, it's going to catch the 8 and be slightly above Apache Kid.
Really?
Yep. So
Well, it is a very creative cover.
it's a 7.8 versus a 7.7. So you have to remember I'm Mr. Math here. So
We have the math.
we have math.
Mm-hmm.
And
Math is my favorite villain.
And to go with math, our third cover of the night is Black Magic.
Why's it got to be black?
Good question. It's 1950. I'm not going to argue with it.
It's because Zach was out of town.
And it's Eric Breen. Eric Breen that gets to start us off on true amazing accounts of black magic from October, November of 1950.
This has me in its spell.
Uh-oh. That old black magic, huh?
You know so well. So I thought with Pixel's love of old songs, he'd start singing it.
Well, thankfully he isn't. I might have to mute him if he does.
But he might be hypnotized by this cover.
Yeah.
I am.
Staring at the screen.
I haven't heard you at all. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, gosh, you just missed a litany of compliments
Thank you.
that will not be repeated now that you are listening.
I know.
I'm gonna give this. Oh God, you know what? I'm gonna give this a 10 because it reminds me of that. It reminds me of the Twilight Zone episode where Kojak throws away that girl's possessed doll.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I like this. This nice and simple. It's old Kirby. So yeah, I'm gonna go 10.
Okay. This is where if you watched our video from Friday night, I wish MK were here on the stream right now. It'd be perfect. Let's see, Melissa. What do you think of Black Magic?
Let's see. I feel like the cover's composed really well. All the like the background and I feel like it goes sparse in the right places, puts details in the right places. And the perspective and everything done in this background is very good.
Yeah, it is interesting. This like green shape here that kind of blocks up where it says Black Magic and just a black background. The color goes in from there to the wall. You can see it going up behind the stairs, but it doesn't create a lot of forced detail and cluttering up where the text is. So that's a really good graphic layout thing right there. It's
Smartly done.
Yeah, very smartly done.
Let's see. It's a very strong illustration. Whoever drew this did a very good job. Let's see. My whole life I've never been very good with scary stories, so probably not. But from that, I can still see it's clearly very well done. So, and in terms of quality, from what I see compared to the other books, it's definitely one of the best. I'm thinking 9.
Okay. And Amy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really solid illustration, good color work on it. The graphic aspect of it with the layout is very well done, and it's I think it works. I hope the family's okay. I'm not sure if the dad's all right there, but that doll looks like it might be planning things. I'm not sure, but I'd give it a 10. I think it tells what it does smartly, and it's drawn very well.
All right. And I'm going to agree with you. At first, I was going to give this a 9, but then just as more I studied it, I love how they drew the doll where it looks like it's trying to squirm away from the fire and squirm away out of the guy's hand. And so it gives you that idea, okay, the doll might actually be sentient or alive.
Yeah, just enough to make you go, huh? Right? Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's really, really well done. And also, too, you can see how the top part, again, we've talked about, some of the, other issues we've looked at from, the golden age, what have you. These were, people need to remember these were sold on newsstands, and newsstands were just huge racks. And so the reason why the top third of the cover is taken up with the trade dress is because that's what would peak up above the magazine set below it.
Oh, wow.
On the rack.
So you weren't even judging the book by the cover. You were judging the book by the trade dress.
Yeah, at first, not until you picked it up to see, Black Magic, this looks interesting, and pick it up, and then you see the cover, unless it was in the first row. I'm going with a 10. VENKMAN.
But you don't realize they're tired of not being credited, so he's throwing Palpatine into the fire.
No, don't do it.
Fair.
No.
It's a 10.
A 10 from VENKMAN. All right. Pixel.
Well, as the one with the puppet, I should go ahead and say this is a 10. Fantastic. Like, I was mesmerized right when it showed up, trying to read that. It does pull you in. It is astounding. Black Magic. It's got me under its spell.
All right. Let's see if the chat agrees. Glenzer says it's a 10. Eddie is saying, 10, Dark Magic Begins. All right. And Jackson Roykirk, he is a tough grader. He gives it just an 8. Dan Alvin says 10. Ethereal Dragon says 8. And so does Joe. Let's see. One Slick Dude, 10. Well drawn and pulls you in. All right. Some folks here noting this might be where the Twilight Zone episode came from. Certainly possible. Or certainly got inspiration from it. Let's see. MK laughing at my request. 10 out of 10. Killer Dolls. Yep. Very good. Jackson. Oh, man, it's a Kirby. I'd go down to 6, but I'll leave it at an 8. Oh, that's right. Jackson has a thing against Kirby, doesn't he? Let's see. Maranya says, this cover predates Talking Tina by 13 years. Great design. Just enough background to set the scene. Score at 8 magical 10. And let's see. Do we have any other scores in there? Brian, hey, welcome. We're doing the scoring again, ranking 1 through 10, 1 being god awful, all the way up to 10 being super awesome. Please throw in your score on this cover if you'd like to. And thanks for joining us. And that's the question. It looks like, is the doll holding on to him? Is it trying to squirm out of his hand? It gives you that ambiguous look, so you're just not really sure. You can interpret it any way you want.
I'll cast one point out real quick. Maranya wasn't insinuating that it made me think of Talkie Tina when I bought this off the newsstand in 1950 because it hadn't come out. Just wanted to clear that up.
And Jackson is noting that he believes that Kirby and Don Heck were so much better in the 1950s versus their later works.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why would that be?
They were
Okay.
younger.
Okay. So let's see. Scoring wise here, what we've got, and let's see, we're up to looks like 15 total here so far. We've got 3 8s, we've got 1 9, and we've got 11 10s. So that hits 9.5, and that is worthy of a 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
so Kirby was probably doing 100 pages plus a month. You know, as time went on. I mean, I said,
Mhm.
Don Heck was never great, but as he got older, all of his faces started looking very Asian, regardless of the race he was drawing, and his figures just kind of got really wonky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess, and I'll throw this out to to everybody. But is that one of the hallmarks of going from being a good artist to a great artist, is being able to do a variety of faces?
I think artists specialize. Inevitably, everybody has the things that make them strong. I mean, some people are great character artists and come up with a variety of faces. Some people are really good at mechanical design. Some people have a natural graphic flair to what they do. And when you start getting into volumes of work, inevitably everything has to be done really, really, really fast. And whatever your strengths are, you're going to lean on hard. And whatever your strengths aren't, or you're just kind of neutral toward, you just don't get the chance to really put the energy there that you'd like to when you have more time to do something like that. So if you're talking about 100 pages a month, it's amazing he got anything done. But that does explain why his basic posing was always strong, even though the sketches and cleanups were rough. Because his posing, I'm kind of like, that's pretty good weight when he hits those panels right.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing him draw something like that, it's really cool.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious because, I mean, again, one of my favorite artists is John Byrne, and you can definitely tell there's periods that he went through where man or woman, young or old, every face basically looks the same.
He's got the
Eric would agree with me on that. I mean, that definitely is one of the things that kind of detracted from his Next Men work, which was so basically almost every face looked identical.
Did you ever see the John Burns Master Race?
No.
Well, yeah. Zach has it on his wall, but he's not here. It was Steve Rogers, Clint Barton, Hank Pym, Jim Hammond. There's 3 others, and they all looked identical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was back when I was doing West Coast Avengers, obviously, but
yeah, I will have to check that out. So, all right, we're going to move on. Our 4th cover of the night is Funny Folks, Hollywood Funny Folks. And Melissa, you get to start us off on Hollywood Funny Folks.
Okay, now this is really solid funny animal art. I see some people like some people can do it really well and others really can't. And you can just tell like these people really know how to, because funny animals have their roots in animation,
Right?
The softer curves, the lines are meant for like appeal and movement. That's really solid. Him getting his tail trimmed at a barber, that's cute and wholesome. It reads as understandable. That's okay. Let's see.
Do we know anything about the? Oh, this is DC Comics then. Okay, it says Hollywood Funny Folks. I wasn't sure. Was this like from one of the animation studios, or retired animators, or just what the group of
we don't
artists?
know if they were tired or not.
Well, after drawing so many books and animations, they probably were pretty tired.
Or even the characters are tired. Look at him just laying there.
Yeah, he's barely up.
That's
excellent.
excellent.
Squirrel.
I see the squirrel. I think it might be. I don't know him from like any cartoons and stuff. If he's original to the funny books, it'd be kind of fun to check out and see how his antics hold up. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't see. I think that a funny book is supposed to be pretty clean, straight, and not animation is simple. So I couldn't. Yeah, the background's a little simple, but that's natural for animation inspired work. So I don't see any point not giving it a 10. I think it is exactly what it ought to be.
Okay. A 10. All right. Amy.
It's okay to feel different.
It is okay. The trade dress is interesting. I like that they worked the characters into the text itself. So when you're looking at it, if it's just the top third of the book, you actually get to see some of the characters. That's a neat touch.
Smart.
That is smart. I like it. I don't know if I would say it's super awesome, but it is very good. Is that an 8 or a 9?
That's an 8.
An 8?
9 is awesome.
Yeah. I think I'll go with 8. I think it's well drawn, but the designs for the characters don't strike me as particularly stunning or creative, but it's a good drawing, well done, and well rendered for the style and for the kind of character these are.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't think it was affiliated in any way with like the Looney Tunes or Warner Brothers cartoons at the time. It does evoke that kind of style, at least for me.
Right.
With that said, I think it's very solid. So yeah, I'll join you with an 8. Venkman. Dr. Richards.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. I was yawning. It's an 8. Not the Amy, just this book.
All right, Pixel.
I'm actually going to have to go a little bit low. I agree. It's these characters, they're okay, but they don't feel that creative. They don't feel anything special. It's a meh. It's a 6.
A 6. All right, and Eric.
The follies of youth. I am going to give this, I think, a 9.
A 9. All right.
Yeah, the little there's a couple little details. The tail hair is already on the floor. I'm looking forward to the next panel when the bear just runs him through.
And he ends up with like a mouse tail or something at the end.
It just ends up dead.
No. Going a little dark there, Eric. I think they save that. I think they save that for the next issue of Black Magic.
Well, if you look at those old funny animal things, those characters are literally trying to murder each other, and they say it.
Yeah.
It never happens.
I
dream.
I am a huge Roadrunner and Coyote fan. I mean, especially of the Chuck Jones era. And if you always want to look at something interesting, Chuck Jones had a set list of rules for every Roadrunner and Coyote cartoon that he did. And it's amazing because if you go and watch them, it follows every single rule in terms of Roadrunner not being antagonistic. The only thing he says is beat me. The Coyote can stop at any time.
He can. Exactly.
So, great stuff. Yeah, let's see. Chat-wise here, Maranya is pointing out, and I think explains John Byrne the best. She says that he's a great dynamic pose artist, but he tends to draw Lego faces. See Wyatt Wingfoot in Man of Steel, Superman. So I would agree. Let's see. Scoring-wise, Glenzer gives us a 9 for funny folks, and Joe comes in with an 8, and Ethereal Dragon comes in with a 7. And Jackson is asking you, Eric, are you up past your bedtime? And
hey. Madman with the box isn't on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Eddie gives it a 4, saying, maybe at kid time, but as he's older, he doesn't really feel it. Jackson does give it a 7 before he falls asleep again. Marania is saying it's cute, funny animal art, animals in a very funny human situation. Takes talent to draw simple figures. Cover sells the book, which is its job. Score it a funny 10. All right. Well, and currently, if you want to see a show that has animals in human situations, the anime of the season right now is one called Ramen Akineko. And it's all about cats that run a ramen shop. And it is amazing because the level, the care of the detail that the creators put into figuring out, okay, how would cats actually run a ramen shop is amazing. And it's so wholesome. It's such a great thing. Yeah, if you've got Crunchyroll or if you want to fly up the pirate ship, highly recommend it. You will watch every episode and come away with a smile.
Oh, this was amazing.
It's so cute. Basically, the way the story starts out, the cats are running a ramen shop. They want to hire another, person to help out, and this girl then, to basically answer the help wanted ad. And they ask her, well, are you a cat lover? And she says, and she's kind of blushes and goes, well, no, I'm really more of a dog person. They go, perfect, you're hired. And so it's great because they talk about how they really don't like people that are cat lovers because, they just go too crazy and want to pet them all the time and all this stuff. And it's just so cleverly done. I've just loved every episode so far. I think there's 4 or 5 that are currently out. So, yeah, definitely check it out. Let's see. Getting back to the scores, one slick dude says it's a 9. It's simple but well drawn. If they had chosen a color for the floor other than blue, the clipping would have shown up better. Good thought. 80 years later. Let's see. Jackson. 6. Come on, Pixel. It's not a Kirby. Let's see. Any other scores in there? Okay, I don't see anything else now.
Jackson did. He said he scored an 8.
Yeah, I got his 8.
Okay, well, you said 7 when he did that.
Oh, did I?
That's,
okay,
yeah, that's why I said that. That's why he typed that. I mean,
yeah, okay, I got it. I got his listing as an 8. Yes,
and Manny just voted an 8.
Oh, hey, Manny, and yeah, Good Dog just came in with an 8. All right, let's see what the math says. We have a 4, and we've got a 6. We've got a 7. We've got 6 8s. We've got 3 9s and 2 10s. And that is going to add up. Wow, a 8 on the dot. So Funny Folks is an 8. Get to the tier list here and find Funny Folks. And it actually nudges ahead of Betty and Veronica. Because Funny Folks came out as a straight-on 8. This was a 7.8, basically, and this was a 7.7. So, if you're curious about how the math actually goes or not, so
Sure, math is fun.
It would have helped if I had shown that. There we are. That's what our first 4 look like, and I will go ahead and put up the stop sign here on Funny Faces or Funny Folks. And we are moving on, and our next book is going to be Jesse James #1. And to start us off on Jesse James #1, it's Amy.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yep.
What have we got here? Jesse James. The San Antonio stage robbery, plus other exciting stories of America's #1 outlaw. I mean, are you supposed to root for him?
well, it's pre-code, so there's a chance he wins.
I mean, I feel like that would be really hard to kind of get behind, though, wouldn't it? Like, yay, the bad guy kidnapped the lady and stole all the people's money. Now the orphans don't get their medicine. That's
Maybe
not
well, she's heartless. She's not giving any medicine to the orphans and holding all the money.
Oh,
She's in the Wells Fargo carriage. She could
Oh.
be rich.
And Gabby Hayes is driving the coach.
Yeah.
So maybe he's gonna go like they were gonna go like auction off the orphans' medicine to the highest bidder instead of giving it to the orphans. So he's gonna go steal it and then make sure the orphans get the medicine. That's a great story. I like it. I'll give it a 10.
Bidding begins when Maranya says go.
All right, Amy comes up with a story to give it a 10. Let's see here. I'm not going to be as, I think, nice on this one. I mean, parts of it are drawn well. The perspective seems a little off, or something's throwing me where it's like a couple guys almost look photorealistic, and then you've got some other weirdly
More
drawn
cartoon styles.
characters. So all in all, I mean, it's a good cover. It conveys some action and excitement. So I'll give it an 8.
Yeah.
Venkman.
I'll give it an 8.
All right. Pixel.
8 no
I am actually going to go 9 because while I do see those issues and I have it, I think the perspective on Jesse himself, that's pretty great. I enjoy the scene. I think it's still solid despite its flaws. So it's a 9, yeah.
All right. Eric.
Well, there's no way Jesse's on that horse. And his head is as big as the horse's head, what you can see of it. But with that, I'm still going to give us a 9 because it's cool.
Okay. And Melissa.
8 or 9? I mean, there's a stagecoach, and so it is pretty cool. I'll go 9 too.
A 9. All right. And the chat. Glinzer says 9. And the Ethereal Dragon says 8. It's nothing special. Joe is pointing out, Jesse James, was kind of an anti-hero, sort of. It depends on era and what you read. And he comes back and comes along also and says it's an 8. And let's see, Eddie is saying, oh, this one's definitely classic. I'm going 10. Old West films and career evolution. All right. Definitely an Old West fan there. All right. Jackson. Story of Jesse James is given a war hero spin as he fights for the Confederacy against the Union commander Redbeard Randolph, who humiliated his family. All right. Now, at some point, he'll give us a score. Maybe it's down below.
It is.
Let's Steal from Widows or Orphans. And Glinzer pointing out the title lettering is huge. And not sure what Manny's talking about there. Jackson, yes, he comes back down with a 9. And Manny gives it an 8. Maranya is saying a dynamic Western cover, looks like a still from a Western, trade dress and colors echoed in the stage. Poor horses are not represented, even with some flaws. It's a robbery 9. All right.
He's talking about his dog.
His son or his dog?
Dog.
Oh, dog. Okay. One Slick Dude, 8. Perspective is off. Wagon wheels look weird without spokes. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Although I think it's supposed to convey that the wagon is moving. But it's an interesting point there. Let me see. So we gave it an 8. And Dan Alvin comes in with a 9. All right. So up to 15 votes on this one. And the total scores, we have, 6 8s. We've got 7 9s. And we've got 2 10s. And that is going to put this one, it is going to bump it up. And Jesse James #1 becomes our first 10, or first 9 of the night is an 8.73.
There you go.
So, all right. There we go. And our next book on the list is Marvel Boy #1. And I get to be the lucky one here to start this one off.
Yep.
Marvel Boy #1. I guess this is from Timely Comics. Here he is, the newest, most amazing character in comics. Marvel Boy, the boy from another planet, at last in his own magazine.
Was he in someone else's magazine before?
Yeah, that was going to be my question here. They say he's the newest, most amazing character, and then, oh, at last he's in his own magazine. Okay, pick one. Yeah, so we see here, I see what they're trying to do, but honestly, Marvel Boy kind of gets just lost in the scrum here. So I mean, it's it's drawn well, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. I do like the trade dress. I like the speed lines on the title. So it would definitely kind of make you take a second glance at the newsstand. But I'm just gonna go. This is an 8 type cover. So VENKMAN.
Wow, kind of looks like Doll Man a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Those little shorts on.
Well, and the coloring too.
And Sandman. Oh man, before he got beat up by Spider-Man. It looks really weird though, because he's like, I am a big old beefy guy, and he's like, I got little legs under these pants. The boat crash. Oh, who was driving that? And there's a UFO.
Marvel Girl.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the guns. Yeah, he knocked the bad guy, so the guns are kind of flying in the air. Too bad he doesn't know gun safety, because they fall down, they could easily go off and shoot somebody.
Yep, not good.
No.
That
that
being
is
said-
a poorly maintained gun that does that. So
I'm gonna go 7 on this.
a 7, okay. And since somebody did ask, I did look it up. Yes, this is a Russ Heath cover. So Pixel.
7 works. 7.
7 from Pixel. Okay. Eric.
You're all on glue.
I wish I was.
Correct it, Eric.
How can this not be a 10?
Uh,
Well, you got capsized ships, explosions. Looks like a flying saucer off in the distance.
Yeah, right?
You got just a Pier 6 brawl going on top of a random rock. I mean, what more can you ask for? You got guns firing themselves. You've got, at last, his own magazine, because I guess he was in the concept room for 3 years. And it's got speed lines on the freaking trade dress.
That's how exciting it
I mean,
is.
that is, and he was probably just beating up these thugs so he could get to that train to get the medicine to give to the poor children.
Yeah, that's right.
There. How you like that? That's
That's a
10.
good story.
that
Thank
is
you.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Just before you go off here, Melissa, let me post this up because Gatekeeper, thank you for the $10. Saying he's just stopping by to show some love. Got to turn in before he gets rolling tomorrow. Wish you continued success and good health. Take care of everyone. Well, thank you, Gatekeeper, and continued success and good health to you as well. So thanks for dropping in.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Have a good journey wherever you're going. Get there safely.
Eric
So-
makes he makes a
No.
compelling argument. How much more awesome can you cram into one cover? I don't think there's any room for any more awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm
Okay.
kind of surprised it's from the 50s. It feels like a more vintage book, but honestly, that kind of makes me like it a little more.
yeah.
Like it's almost a bit more throwback, but I don't know if that's quite right. But
Right.
it looks like the earlier books, but I don't hold that against it. That's me.
Yeah, I think super awesome is a good way to describe it. So I think I'll give it a 10 too.
Okay, so Melissa's with a 10, and Amy.
Yeah, if I saw this somewhere for 10 cents, I would pick it up. And it's friends. It looks like it would be fun. And I guess this little ship up here is his. I don't know. I'll have to open up the book and find out.
You'll have to do that. So a 10 from you as well. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see what we get from the chat. Glenzer and Manny both come in with 9s. And Joe says it's a 7. It's too busy. And Eddie's saying this one almost it's Warzone and Alien Invasion, hard to tell, and he's going to go with an 8. Glenzer saying yes, it's a busy cover, sure, but evokes a 50s pulp magazine or novel. I think that's what you were talking about there, Amy, and that's what warrants its attention. Meanwhile, Jackson and Ethereal Dragon come in with 7s. And Brian Jones noting it's like 3 separate compositions on top of each other. and Jackson talking about Marvel Girl there, want some sandwiches. And One Slick Dude comes in with a 9. He's saying Marvel Boy only had 2 issues before he was here, and he was in Young Men comics, both by Atlas. And again, One Slick Dude is not fond of the Yellow Sky. And Maranya comes in saying, to me, this would have been a spectacular cover if the focus was on Marvel Boy and maybe One Thug. Background cover is chaotic. Even with these flaws, I score a marvelous 10. Well, you point out some significant flaws, Marani. What would it have taken to knock this down to a 9 or an 8 for you? So Patrick Sargent comes in with a solid 7. And Brian Jones comes in with a 6. All right. 7, 16 this time. All right. 16 total votes this time around. And the scoring is as follows. We've got 1 6. We've got 6 7s. 2 8s, 3 9s, and 4 10s. Excuse me. And this is going to put Marvel Boy number 1. It is going to be an 8. Let me get back to the covers here, and I'll show you. Marvel Boy is an 8. It is actually an 8.2, so it is the best of the 8s by the math.
There you go.
So go ahead and put the stop up. And Marani is saying what would have knocked it down would have been one more caption box. All right. So now we know what Marani's kryptonite is caption boxes.
So be aware, people.
Yeah, and Glenzer's noting that the cheapest copy of Marvel Boy number 1 currently is going for $567 on eBay. So, yeah, when I looked up the info, I think a 5.0 on My Comic Shop is selling for $1,100 right now. So, your mileage may vary.
If you see it for 10 cents, pick it up.
Yeah, definitely. But with that, we are going on to issue our 7th cover of the night, and this is Miss Melody Lane of Broadway.
What?
And there's no better person to start us off on a copy of, or a comic about people on Broadway than Dr. Venkman.
All righty. Miss Melody Lane of Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Girls, girls, girls. Candy's, I can't remember that. Candy James, still the something story of the cover girl. Kind of over.
Yeah.
Something aquatic, stars.
Something.
52 pages, 2 big pages of Miss Melody Lane of Broadway.
Yeah.
It's got the 1960s kind of look behind it and everything. I guess this is supposed to be the 60s then.
No, this is 1950.
All 1950s.
From 1950.
I guess Vegas looked the same in the 60s then. It hasn't really changed.
Nope.
For the background, I'm gonna give it I'll give it a 7.
A 7. All right. Pixel.
I am going to
actually change mine to a 5.
A 5. Okay.
Yeah, it's.
I sadly have to go to a 6 because it's just so like so many live people on the cover, and then she's just drawn in front, and it's nothing spectacular. Let's say I was in the 50s and I saw this, I'd be like, no. If I wanted to go ahead and look at celebrities, I would pick up a different magazine.
Good point.
All right. So just for those curious, because I know it is a little blurry, I am looking it up on a certain site. And I'm sure people will be shocked that this got a grand total of 3 issues. It was a DC publication. And so if you're curious, reading the stars from kind of right to left, going from the top to the bottom there. The stars of Broadway in these romantic star-studded stories: Lisa Kirk, Bill Lawrence, Margaret Whiting, and Jean Sablon, or Sablon, as the guy in the lower left. And the inset there, the one in the lower right, is Candy Jones, who tells us the inside story of being a Conover cover girl. So there you go. And with that, and we'll go to Eric Breen. He might even have a little bit more info on this book.
I've seen it. And I'm going to be more generous. I'm going to give us a 9 because they were going for the look of an old movie magazine.
Okay.
Even though it's Broadway Stars, but the cover, the background of the city, the photo of the city, that grabs my attention.
Okay.
Granted, there's nothing special about the drawing on the front, but it's just the way the whole cover's set up. I guess I liked it better than the rest of it, but I'm looking at a 9 here.
Okay. Melissa.
Okay. I just kind of feel like the photographic background is a very not even nowadays you see a lot of that happening in comic book covers. I think that is very creative, and the old timey like the cutout of the stars and stuff makes me think of like I have an old collection of record albums and things like that. So that like that pre-Photoshop like a paper and paste composition is kind of nostalgic for me. I do have to admit it's like for a setting like that, the drawn figure in the center has to be really, really well drawn to not really be a distraction or almost unsightly. And I'm like, her face is very cute and the pose is the idea, but to me maybe it's just because it's kind of small, but to me her arms look almost deformed. And the way her torso is kind of built, it's like her hips feel kind of off, not quite aligned right. And it just kind of feels, it kind of except for her face, it's a sweet face, but it does kind of bring down the energy, but it's still a neat idea. So I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay. And Amy.
What is this? Is this a comic? Is this a magazine with articles in it? Or is it like a bunch of fanfics with like just a cover on it?
Probably yes.
Oh, almost definitely gets one of those.
Okay. Because, I mean, if I were looking at this and if I wanted a comic and I saw this, I would go, ew, photos. If I wanted, I don't know why I would want fanfics about celebrities. But if I did, I don't know if the comic book character on the front would make sense.
Okay, real quick, what it is to tell you that in this era, all the romance comics in there were a shitload already. All had photo covers. So photo covers, and there were also comics about, movie stars and whatnot. So photo covers were very common at this point.
Oh, okay.
If that, means anything.
Oh, so that wouldn't have been strange. People
Not
look
at
at
all.
this and know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So taking out my consideration of it then, because I'm like, I can't tell what I'm looking at. Then I suppose as one of those, whatever that is, it's fine. I guess I could give it as a comic book, I wouldn't be interested, but understanding what it's supposed to be, I guess I would give it an 8. I guess.
Okay. I can tell you. I can tell you, flipping through it here really quickly. Yeah, it's all drawn, and there's basically several comic book type stories with Melody Lane. Then there's like a 1-page talking about Lisa Kirk. There's a little 2-page about how's it put here? Stars Over Broadway featuring Margaret Whiting. So it talks about her career and how she came to Broadway. It's a little 2-page thing. So yeah, kind of variety of like that. So for me here to kind of wrap this up on the panel side, I'm going to go with the 7 here. I kind of agree with everything that more or less people were saying, and especially if Melody were drawn better, it would stand out a lot more. Let's see what we've got from the chat. We've had a very lively chat in here. Let's see. Glenzer has it with an 8. Glenzer's noting it's Lois Lane's sister, Melody. I don't think it quite works that way, but Eddie is saying the Hollywood star red dress influences and gives it a 10. Dark Admiral, hey, Dark Admiral, he comes in and gives it a 7. And Ethereal Dragon says it feels lazy, and he's going to give it a 4. That means we've got scores from 4 through 10. Let's see. Good Dot Manny gives it a 6. And Joe gives it an 8. And Patrick Sargent gives it a 5. Brian Jones gives it a 7. And Eddie is noting how the background really feels like New York. Well, yeah, because it's a photo of Broadway from 1950. Let's see. Zach is hunting us down. Look at the top. Meet the stars of the Great White Way. Yes. Of course, if it's not in his collection or on his wall already, he is hunting this one down. Glenzer is noting that Spider-Woman 32 certainly wasn't hampered by live people on the cover. That's true. It all depends on how you use the photo cover. Jackson gives it an 8. Let's see. Maranya is saying floating star photo heads. Photo background with drawn heroine. I'm getting Roger Rabbit animation over live action vibes. Scored a melodious 9. Oh, yeah, Eric. So are these floating heads?
That's a good question because I've never thought of it in the context of their photo heads.
They're photo heads.
They're floato heads.
Floating heads.
Maybe they would be floating heads if they are reacting to what was happening in the cover.
Yeah. Well, they are. The one girl's going, man, if her arms didn't look deformed, this would be a 10.
All right, let's see. One slick dude is giving it an 8, saying the nighttime city backgrounds are hard to pull off, but they did a decent job. But there's too many stars on the cover. Looking at it, it is the nighttime cover. At first, I thought maybe they just took a daytime and reversed the negative, or did the negative. But with it lit up, I mean, that's what Times Square, Broadway looked like in 1950. Let's see. Patrick's noting I still Xerox copy analog render my drawings this very day. Cool. And Jackson's noting he trusts Eric on that. He bought as many as he could right off the rack. I believe he's talking about your love of the romance comics there.
And my advanced age.
Yeah.
Of which he is within a year.
And Glenzer is noting little girls in 1950 were screaming out Superman, Batman, Dick Tracy, and Melody Lane. Probably not, since it only got 3 issues.
Yeah.
And then let's see. I don't see any other scores. But that is okay because we have got, as I say, the gamut here.
Oh, my little comics club was crushed when this got canceled.
Oh, I bet. You're up in your little clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. We had a 4. We got 2 5s. We got 2 6s. We got 3 7s. But then it break the pattern with 6 8s, 2 9s, and a 10. But that is only going to allow it to get to, drum roll please, Melody Lane becomes our lowest scoring one at a 7.2 and is our first 7 of the night.
Yep. No girls allowed in that clubhouse except for Melody Lane.
Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and put the stop sign up. And we're moving on to the next cover. And once again, I think it's oddly appropriate that Pixel, you get to start us off on the brand new adventures of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
We're a couple of misfits. I think that this is a nice Christmassy cover. But I think this is a 7.
A
It's
7.
it's good. I don't think it's great.
Well, who put coal in your stocking?
I listen, like it. It's hard to go ahead and at this point accept any other Rudolph. Any other Rudolph any look of Rudolph that's not that one Rudolph that we all know. It's hard for me to go ahead and be like, oh yeah, that works.
Yep.
And then
All right.
Santa, his mouth is like not there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, fair enough. Eric.
Well, you got Rudolph on Flash's cosmic treadmill. I don't know what more you could ask for. Apparently, I said a cross-dressing Mrs. Claus with a beard. It looks like
that's Santa with an apron on. Come on. You've never seen like woodworkers or steel or black?
no, it's just it's just the it just looks funny. But that said, yeah, there's the two little kids from the DC horror covers in their more innocent days. Unless they fall under the treadmill. That'd be all
It's a
get
bow
dark
tie.
again.
Well, and it is a DC book, so
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go with a 9.
a 9. All right,
Because I
Melissa.
have Christmas spirit, unlike Pixel.
Yeah, Melissa.
I think the one thing that I noticed when I first saw it was that he was making a little toy Noah's Ark, and I'm like, that just made me very happy. I guess it's just nice seeing like the culture and traditions of like the Western world back in the day, and it kind of made me nostalgic. And it reminded me of a little painting that Amy made for our niece when she was born. It's a little Noah's Ark painting. And it's just very sweet. Rudolph's doing everything he can to help. His legs look like they're kind of tied up, and I know so many artists who know how to do
Well,
deer
deer are interesting. They don't have a large or wide gait, really. They tend to look a little more like they're prancing when they move. So kind of keeping the feet tucked together instead of like sprawled out too much like a horse would, I think is kind of characteristic of how deer sort of move. At least I'm assuming that's kind of what they're going for. A large gait would look a bit inelegant, and it's a deer, not a horse. So
true. Interesting idea. That's an interesting point. And the toys on the shelves are very nicely drawn. I think, and it's a very happy picture. So I think I'll give it a 9.
A 9. Okay. Amy.
oh, I adore this. It's a 10. Santa has such a sweet face, and the kids look so happy, and the deer's so cute, and everything's so nice. I really love it.
Yeah. Well, just be where the kids are happy now, but wait until they find the horror of Santa's cave there and see the unspeakable Lovecraftian monsters that dwell within it.
Santa has a cave.
Yeah.
He has a gingerbread cottage.
In the North Pole, yeah. All right, let's see here. I'm going back and forth on this one. The Rube Goldbergian machine there is really kind of bugging me a lot because it's on one hand, okay, so Rudolph is on this treadmill. He's turning the gears and the belts. And one of the things that's attached is a circular saw that looks super dangerous, and I'm not quite sure what it's doing there at that point. And then the other one at first I thought was a hand, and then closer look is, okay, no, it's a paintbrush. And so that appears to be how Santa is trying to paint the Noah's Ark there, which, okay, doesn't seem very efficient or effective. But there is a lot of detail, especially like in the cabinet above Santa's head. So all in all, I'm going to go with an 8. And Venkman.
Well, the elves are glad they can take a break.
That's true. Rudolph's helping everybody out.
All these
You know if
treadmills.
there's elves in here.
Barry Allen's also happy too. Doesn't go on the treadmill anymore. Yeah, man, this is don't hate me for so sick me, Father, for I am saying this is a 6.
A 6. Okay.
Just throw some coal in your stocking. We'll be good.
Yeah.
You know, it does get cold during winter. I need more coal.
Bah humbug from Venkman there. Let's see if we have any Christmas lovers in the chat. Let's see. Dark Admiral saying, I officially love the drum roll. It needs to be a staple now. Oh, no, it might just be a one-time thing here. Glenzer comes in with a 9. And Eddie is joining Breen and believing that is Mrs. Claus. Ethereal Dragon is saying a 7, and Patrick Sargent is saying a 6. And let's see, Manny is saying it's an 8. Hey, I mean, good company. Joe, 10. I can't disrespect Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. All right. Let's see, Jackson with a 7. Glenzer is noting it's pretty good detail for a kiddie comic. Well, yeah, they tried. Dark Admiral, 10. He loves the old school art. Maranya, freaking adorable cover. Just enough detail to tell the story. Perfect rendering style for the subject. Bah humbug to anyone who scores this lower than a 10. Well, we have quite a few bah humbugs in the chat and on the panel. Let's see. Jackson noting it's the Adams kid is traumatized later by finding out that Mrs. Claus was really Mr. Claus. Well, that's a modern day retelling. We won't get into that.
All right, then we skip ahead to Eddie's comment.
Well, one slick dude says 9. Well done.
Never mind.
Which of Eddie's comments?
No, you don't get the joke. He's called one skip dude.
Oh. Well, see, I actually pay attention to the chat. I have a separate box up. So let's see. Eddie's coming back noting that, yeah, Klaus, the movie on Netflix, should have won the animated Oscar award.
Absolutely.
But, hey, we know Disney splashes out the cash. And one slick dude is correcting Pixel, telling him this is the design of Rudolph that people were used to in the 40s and the 50s before the show came out. That's true.
Yeah.
And he's also noting that he has the first issue from 1946 from Montgomery Ward. Oh, that's nice.
Yes, but you missed the part that I don't care. I like my Rudolph.
Yeah.
Let's do cocaine.
We all have our blind spots. Let's see. Dark Admiral says, I wouldn't have pegged LK as a Grinch. He's kind of shocked. Well, you know, I am what I am. Brian Jones also says it's a 6. Some laughter from Eddie. Let's see. Patrick noting these are 2 of the weirdest covers. And Jackson also noting that he wants some deer sausage. Venison is good, I will tell you. Although it is, if you don't prepare it right, it can be a little gamey and it can be a little stringy. But if you do it like with a peppercorn sauce, grill it, it's really, really, really good. Let's see. Hardy V just got himself a truckload of coal. And Eddie said, well, I'm going to change mine from a 6 to a 7. So, all right, let me take off a 6. Put on a 7. And that is 16 votes we got this time around. And I'll go ahead and put the stop up. And yes, my heart grew 8 sizes at the end, but that's only because of heart disease, because I'm actually a nice person. Let's see. We've got 2 6s. We've got 4 7s. We've got 2 8s. Whoops, 16. We've got 4 9s. And we've got 4 10s. And all of that is going to add up to an average of an 8.25, which means Rudolph is now our new number 1 8. Just beating out Marble Boy. But
Nice
still an 8.
outfit.
I would like to see a crossover between those 2.
With Cliff Cornwall.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Wait, Rudolph and Adolf?
Yeah.
That's Zach's crossover.
Adolf's White Christmas. Or Zach's White Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, Dark Admiral's pointing out you got to soak the venison in apple juice. you know, the next time my uncle comes back from hunting, actually, you know what? Because deer season was just a few months ago. I think he still has some deer in the freezer. He's meaning to get that over to me. I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds pretty good.
You're on apple juice. Just put a whole tub of applesauce on it.
Yeah.
Sure,
So-
that'll work. Same.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Eric, you get to start us off on our next cover, which is Strange Adventures.
This is an inexplicable 10, but there's something about this. It just jumps out at you. It's like sure, the two guys in the suits have been dead for days. But that's all right. Because you got the star-filled background. You've got that stock photo of a spaceship that you see in the one sheet of every sci-fi movie of 1950. Yes, it's just perfect for the times. In fact, I think there was a movie called Destination Moon with that very ship in the background.
Yeah, definitely. I think even with the same spacesuits, I know I've seen that type of spacesuit in more than one.
It says right there, during preview of Hollywood Smash.
Interplanetary.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Or this guy's with the guy with the ropes going, yeah, I'll tie this rope to you. I'll go ahead and push you over the thing, and I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
In space,
right.
no one can hear you go, ah.
So, Melissa, are you going to agree with Eric here?
Actually, yeah. I'm just like, it is. I think the one word to describe it would be surreal. It's impressive and yet kind of wrong somehow. I enjoy it.
It is.
And that one guy looks so solemn and distant, like sad, and I don't know why. And he's got his space rope and he's determined to use it, but we don't know on what.
They have lots of space rope.
Lots of space rope. You don't go to space. You don't go to the moon without lots of space rope. That's for sure. Oh gosh, it was the Earth in the distance. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just probably one of the more unique covers I've ever seen. Kind of and strange. So it says exactly what it does and does exactly what it says. So 10. Yeah.
Okay. Amy.
It is. It's bizarre, but it certainly gets a response. And what was it they said? It's you can be great at something or you can be bad at something. The only thing unforgivable is to be boring. And this isn't that. This is interesting. I don't know what it is, but I'll give it a 10. That's pretty wild.
Okay. So I know somebody was saying in the chat, Jackson was saying he thinks it's a photo cover. And I can see parts of it where it does look like they started out with a photo cover and then just kind of traced or embellished it a bit. And I think that's my biggest problem is that the faces are just horrifying to me. And at the same time, Venkman, is there a way you could take this cover and put Breen and Englantine's faces in the space helmets?
I probably could do that. That'd be kind of strange, though, wouldn't it?
It would be a strange.
And I also might have to make the suit a little wider, didn't I?
I mean, it is a strange cover.
Yeah. Well, it is 1950. Eric was probably a little thinner back then,
and shorter.
Yeah. With all that,
Pixel.
Yes.
Could you start handing out some fingers in my name? Thank you.
Let's see.
How about some Coronas?
These? Will these do?
Why, thank you. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Send them to the proper recipients.
I swear, the smaller the window that you put Pixel in, the larger the fingers look.
Oh, by the way, after seeing those fingers, I'd like to change my Betty and Veronica score down to a 4.
You had to remember what real hands look like.
Well, no, but or mutant hands.
All right.
The general rule when drawing hands is to make sure they're close to the size of the face. Generally, if you put your hand on your face, you should be able to reach from the temple to the chin. So if it's much smaller than that,
Well,
then you're
Pixel's finger is roughly the size of a face on Mount Rushmore.
there. You go.
Oh my god, it looks like a face-hugging alien.
You can play the piano.
All right. Let's see. With all that said, I can't go 10. I'm gonna call it an 8 and move on. Venkman.
Immediately when you pop this up here, Strange Adventures does what it's supposed to do. The bright title font 3D just pops out right out at you. I love the faces though on the astronauts. The guy on the right is like, I should have stayed home today. I should have stayed home today. The guy's like, what the pretty much like what tarnation? Yeah, he's got the rope. He's got to go get some little space doggies. Gonna round them up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love that they got the 1950s night watchman flashlights.
Yep.
Mag lights.
Mm-hmm.
You probably need those in space because it's dark most of the time.
And then the craziest thing is that they have the Death Star behind them.
That's probably not going to be a problem. It's not like it's aiming a laser at them.
Yeah. Now, I believe that is supposed to be the Earth, but
I know, but it looks like the Death Star. The way it looks very metallic. Oh yeah, this is a 10.
All right, 10 from Venkman. And Fingers, what do you say?
If a silent movie and a comic book had a baby, you would get this cover, and that makes it a 10. It's wrong in all the right ways, just like my hands.
It's like
what the chat has. Glenzer comes out with a 7. And Dark Admiral's noting that some people use apple cider vinegar on the venison, but it leaves an aftertaste. Okay, I'll definitely go the apple juice route. Eddie noting the alien genre starts. Dark Admiral gives it a 10. Says he'd love a print of this. Let's see. Brian. Well, we only do whole numbers here, Brian, so I'm going to mark you down as an 8. Let's see. Jackson is saying he's going to give it a 10 despite the ripoff cover. Joe is a 9, and Ethereal Dragon is a 7. And Brian is saying I like the distorted face of the one astronaut. Manny gives it an 8. And yes, welcome all new people to the stream. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We really do appreciate you being here. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, give it to Graphic Man. He'll do the job for me. Let's see. Maranya is saying George Reeves and Jack Larson in spacesuits. Painted cover is reminiscent of Pulp magazine. Even the blurs gives a pulp feel and scores it a strange 10. And let's see. One Slick Dude is saying it's a 9. It looks like it's drawn from a film still frame. It's possible. Let's see. And One Slick Dude's noting the Fawcett movie comic, which is a photo cover, is better. And Eddie is saying this cover is sick, getting 10. Many genre influences such as film, shows, animations, and games. Yeah. We're definitely seeing that. So another 10. And I think that's all for this one. 11. So another 16 votes. Thank you, folks. And that total is going to be 2 7s, 3 8s, 2 9s, and 9 10s. And let's see. Oh! So it comes in at a 9.125. So I think it's close. I'm going to put it here. I think it just came up short of Jesse James. But, oh, wait, no, I take it back. No, Jesse James is like an 8.8 or 8.7 or something. So, yeah, no. So Adventure there is a 9.125, and it is our second 9 of the night. So decent spread here for these 1950 covers. And if I can get my mouse to cooperate there to get down to the rest, we'll go ahead and put the stop sign up. And while I'm doing that, Comic Book Frog has noted in the chat that if you do want to help support, you can donate to the channel, and the link to the Ko-Fi is right there. As you can see, ko-fi.com/England team from I Love Comics.
And then I'll put the Geeky Publisher one in there next.
There you go.
Well, you guys aren't doing it for money, though. You're doing it for the love of comics, right?
We're doing it for the greed. No,
The
it's all about the
greed.
money.
All right. Well, Melissa, you kick us off with A Strange Worlds.
Who is?
Oh. Yee.
My goodness, they're like swamp.
Those are
Swamp
actually some really
creatures?
creepy marsh monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Astounding super science fantasies, strange worlds. In this issue, War of the Marshmen, the Corsairs from the Kolsek, Dead Men's Tales, and the Spider God of Akka. Well,
It's like a streamlined tailor goes to space and encounters muck monsters.
and they have jelly fingers.
They do.
I love that the damsel here has a gun and is, fighting off the muck monsters. That's nice.
Yeah.
I love that she's wearing practical shoes for space exploration.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Well, the entire suit, I mean, it's
Mhm.
it's
That's a very practical exploration
ideal.
bikini. Yeah.
And is that Super Mario behind her?
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, it totally is. Hey.
It's got the red
So that's
shirt.
Pauline, is it?
I guess so.
It's like Humphrey Bogart or Dean Martin in the red shirt.
Martin playing Mario.
There you go.
Ooh, okay. Well, I still got to give it a rating. It's
Well, that'd be a drunk Mario.
yeah. His hair arm kind of obscures his face a bit, but that can't be helped. Bless her heart. She's in trouble, but she's also trying to do it. Everyone needs to. Trouble is a very important part of adventure, so
Mhm.
I respect that. This is exciting, and it's very pretty art. I think. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 10.
A 10. Okay, Amy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say it doesn't have its problems, but it does something kind of creative and exciting, and I like it. I will give it a 10 too.
All right. Let's see. Me. Yeah, there are some good things in here. I don't quite think I can go a 10. I'll go a 9.
That's cool.
Venkman.
Well, if there's capture for the guy up above, he's like, "Hey guys, I want to play too."
Yep.
Like
What's
Sid
he
and
doing?
Morty Croft monsters. Like they're like, all just want to pull her down. But 10 cents, you get 4 stories. That's cool. And
That
and
is
the-
pretty
good.
cool.
And
Yeah.
the Corsairs, isn't that Scott Summers' dad?
I think so. So maybe he's in here.
The
Maybe
the
that's
wrong
it.
Corsair, I
Maybe that's
believe.
his mom.
Yeah. I like the style on the ship, the classic 50s. It has like the shark fin.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. And it has like the porthole. So it must have been like a passenger ship or something like that. Rocket ship, because that's a lot of freaking portholes. Just for like 2 people. Astounding super science fantasy. Strange worlds. I'm going to give it an 8.
All right. An 8. Pixel.
They're going on a trip in their favorite rocket ship to strange worlds with swamp monsters, bikini babes, with what is that? Laser guns?
It's Spider-Man.
It's a 10. Spider-Man! No. It's a 10. This is
That's
so
10.
much fun.
All right. And Eric.
Okay. What we don't see on the cover here, because you have to turn over to the first page, is the guy in the ship
Mhm.
wearing the red shirt. He gets killed 2 panels in to page 1.
He's making a Star Trek joke.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
But everything, yeah, I can't not give this a 10. Venkman's thing made me laugh. And the guy said, how do we get to the other side of the ship? Not sure which one of those has her by the leg. I mean, those gams.
Don't they look like from what was that movie Where the Wild Things Are?
I don't know, but this is a 10.
Yeah. Venkman here ruining childhood memories for everybody.
Well, that should have ruined your childhood if you saw the movie.
Yeah.
If you watch the Geeky Papa Show, you will hear those dams every few live streams. So
Yeah. No, I was content to read the book as a kid. I've not seen that movie.
What, the Geeky Puppet Show?
Well, that
It was a
too.
book.
Yeah.
You told me.
Yeah, know where the wild things are. Let's see. So what we've got from the chat: Ethereal Dragon comes with an 8, and Glinzer comes in with a 9. We have Jackson is asking the Geeky Puppet Show. That thing still comes on? Yeah, apparently so. I guess they keep doing it.
It's been great. We've been hiding from Jackson. We're doing a good job.
Okay. Let's see. One Slick Dude 10, a classic Avon cover. He definitely wants to read this. Dark Admiral comes in with a 9. Joe says an 8. The Muck Monsters look great. Jackson's noting Leia stole her outfit. Manny gives it a 9 rather, and Brian gives it a 7. Maranya, another pulp magazine inspired cover. Muck Monsters, not strange enough, but the spaceship pushes the alien factor up even with the flaws to a strange 10. And let's see, Jackson with a 7. Brian notes that he does like the monsters. And Ethereal is agreeing with us. Corsair is Cyclops and Havoc's dad. Yep. And he's telling us we need to rank more X-Men covers. Well, that could be a future a poll. There is no poll tonight because neither of us have nobody has admin rights to Teen's YouTube account. Thank goodness.
Yay!
And One Slick Dude is noting this has Joe Kubert art. Let's see. He is giving a base 7.
Covered by Gene Fawcett, says Jackson.
Dark Admiral there is starting to hum HR Puffin stuff. And Jackson notes that the cover is by Gene Fawcett. So would that be the same Fawcett publications or just a coincidence?
I could ruin the cover more. He's saying, "Woman," as he grabs your leg.
Yeah. So let's see, 3, 6, 10.
Like, would you not shoot the monster that's grabbing your girlfriend's leg?
Well, he might not see it because he's focused the other way. But scoring, we've got 3 7s, we've got 3 8s, we have 4 9s, and we've got 6 10s. And that will push this Strange Worlds. And take that off there. Come back. And Strange Worlds becomes our second 9 of the night, pushing over Jesse James as it comes in with an 8.82.
Although if that was Mara, it'd be Mamma Mia. I don't get paid for this.
Our third 9 of the night, as we have 2 books left to go.
Really?
Almost there.
And
it's not. I was gonna say it's not midnight yet.
No, it's not. Let's see. Our second to last book of the night is Tomahawk. And Amy, you get to start us off on Tomahawk.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, let's have a look at this. It's, let's see, brand new adventures for America's favorite frontier hero. Plus other exciting Indian stories. Looks like they're at a camp. And are these characters that we would have known from somewhere else, or is this kind of like it's not like a licensed story? It's just they decided to make a frontier book, and this is what they did.
I'll defer to Eric.
Yes. This was a book that lasted almost 20 years. This is the main character, Tomahawk. So,
oh wow.
Then eventually he turned the book over to his son of Tomahawk.
Oh, neat. Oh, that's really cool. So this would be Tomahawk, and I guess that son of Tomahawk over there.
Who knows if it's the son or not? Because I thought his son was from a dalliance with an Indian, but I'm not sure. I was never that big on this book, but I know it's like some of my fellow fossils really like this. And
Well,
later on in the run, you got some early Neil Adams covers. which were cool.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, this looks really cool. I like the detailed little campfire there. That's neat. You don't normally see that kind of thing in there. It's a nice environmental effect. They remembered that if it's, dark outside, like it's nighttime, you need to not have the brightest possible blue in the background. So that's cool. They actually made it look like it's kind of dark. But still light enough that you can see things. The Indian characters in the front have cool designs and are well drawn and well inked. I like this. I think I'd probably give this a 9. Yeah.
Okay, a 9. All right, let's see here. Well, I mean, my initial question looking at this is, okay, are we looking at the protagonists there that are the ones behind the campfire, or is Tomahawk one of the Indians about to slay them? It says, plus other exciting Indian stories. So with that, yeah, it is drawn pretty well. I mean, it's not super exciting, but it's a good perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll join with the 9. It's getting on. Let's see, Venkman.
Alrighty. First, I thought it was Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone was a man.
But it's
Was
Tom
a
and
big man.
It's meant to be Tom and Hawk. His buddy Hawk.
Yeah. Well, no, it's Tom Abernathy Hawk. Tom A. Hawk.
America's favorite frontier hero about to be confronted by those evil savages. Right? I've seen Horizon, American Saga. They've all got tomahawks, and he doesn't.
I know, right?
He's got his trusty rifle behind him. And
Well,
the kid's like, I'm gonna go on the other side of this log here. You're on your own, Dad.
Well, get out of the way of the rifle, right?
This is a 9.
A 9. All right, Pixel.
And he's like, hawk it to it, Dad.
Well, Tomahawk was a man. He was also a big man. But did he fight for America to make us all free? Here's the thing. I think that this is a very solid cover.
But I hate it. It's a 6.
No, it's a 10. It's just getting late and the energy in my voice is waning.
Okay, a 10 from Pixel. Eric.
Okay, for anybody that complained about tiny fingers or tiny arms, I just want you to check out, if that isn't a baby in that character's papoose holding that tomahawk, I don't want to hear anything else tonight about it.
The one in the left-hand corner, the left side, yeah.
That thing is that looks like something. Yeah, that's
Not the midget.
little tiny.
Yeah. Well, no, he has his arm in an L shape. That's what you're not seeing. So that's why his arm is short, because it's cut, because you can't see
It's
the
also
shoulder going out.
It's also skinny as all get out and tiny, and I don't know. I like my story better.
Yeah.
That said, this is a very, very solid cover, and I am also going to give it a 10.
All right, a 10 from Eric. And let's see, Melissa.
Okay. It's an interesting cover. It's interesting. I love seeing like art and stories of like topics from like that aren't covered much these days. Indian westerns and Western, old detective stories, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm especially fond of detective stories, but this is very, very distinctly American, and it's just neat. Is it a 10 or a 9?
It has DC Comics logo on both sides.
Oh yeah.
Why?
So it's
Bloop, bloop.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 10.
A 10. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And my guess of why DC did that back in the day is, again, kind of a newsstand thing where, instead of getting placed top to bottom, if, books were, lined up kind of side by side and overlapped, kind of like you see in a in a comic book store today. Whichever side it was, you would still know, oh, this is a DC comic.
Right. You are onto something there, sir.
That makes sense.
Probably even back in the day, they had people that would just go, "Oh, it's a DC comic. Let me pick that up." And so for those curious too, I was looking. So that is not Tomahawk's son. That is Dan Hunter on the left side there of the comic, and they are scouts sent out by the Frontier headquarters. So to scout wild horses' strength. So there you go. And even though he's a paleface, he wants to help the Indians.
Well, that's good.
So
should help as many people as you can.
Yeah. Let's see what we've got here in the chat. Glenzer comes in with a 9. And let's see, Ethereal Dragon has an 8. Joe has an 8. Dark Admiral has a 9. Oh, there's Jackson. Yep, Tomahawk and Boy's sidekick Dan Hunter begin. And Manny gives it a 9. And Eddie's noting, is this the Indian Jones color logo? I'm not sure. Marani's saying, Frontier guys versus engines. Well-rendered cover tells the story. It sells the book like a good cover should. Score a Tomahawk 10. All right. And Jackson is giving it a 9. Brian Jones is coming in with a 7. While Eddie is putting up some emojis there of a bear, an eagle, a wolf, and a horse. One slick dude saying 9. There's too much negative space in the background for them being in the woods. Well, that's just an artistic choice. And Ethereal is noting the Iroquois and the Five Nations. And Eddie is saying it's maybe a 7. So we'll put him down as a 7. And we will close things here. And the scoring thus far is we've got 2 7s, we've got 2 8s, we've got 8 9s, and we got 4 10s. 2, 4, 9, 10, so 16 again. Divided by 16, and wow, it comes up with the same score that Strange Worlds got. And so we're going to put that in the 9 category, an 8.875. And we've got 1 cover left tonight, folks, so hang in there. Thank you again for being here tonight. And again, if you like this kind of content and our lovely discussions here, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for the notifications. Make sure you click for all notifications, because YouTube is being a bit cranky lately in terms of getting the notifications out to you. If you do, again, like the content on here and you want to help support the channel, you can always send us a super chat, or of course drop $1 in the Ko-Fi bin there, ko-fi.com/Englandine from I Love Comics. And with that, the final cover of the night, let me get the brand back up, is War Comics, #1. War.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
So let's see here. Let me get rid of the banner there so we can see the whole comic. And we see Tales of Valor. Oh, I get to start this one. Tales of Valor on Far-Flung Battlefields, featuring You Only Die Once, Peril in Korea, Battle Bait, and The Chips Are Down, with one soldier telling another, it looks like a guy shot there laying on the ground, says, "Get out of here, you fool. Save yourself. That's an order." "No, sir, Captain. We're not deserting you or this outpost. We'll turn the red tanks back somehow." Red tanks. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of detail going on. Not as, I'll say, realistic details we've like seen in the past in some other episodes, where we've looked at, kind of DC and Marvel, and certainly Joe Kubert, war covers. But it still does a pretty good job. You've got one guy there looks like he's getting atomized by a tank there on the left-hand side, and some other guys. So, and there's definitely some some casualties here on the cover. So all in all, I'll give it a 9. Venkman.
Man, what is that? At first I thought it was Irish police in the background, but no, it's
Flora.
I know, right?
Saints preserve us.
You know what this is? This is Sergeant what's his name? Sergeant Rock with Easy Company going against the forces of Cobra.
Okay.
Yeah, with the black tanks and all that stuff and the futuristic stuff. Or Moonraker Part 2.
Yeah.
Which no one wants to see. This is a 10. You only died twice, but you gotta share this cover multiple times for 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right, Pixel.
What makes the red tank red?
Communists.
Catch up.
I know. That's the joke. Not like what makes the red man red. Anyway, other than communism, I'm not impressed with this one as much as other war covers discussed. This is still very impressive, but it's not as impressive. It's war comics. So I think it's a 8.
An 8. All right, Eric.
This looks familiar. Did we do this one when we did war comics?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. At least not the war comic cover episodes that I saw.
But
maybe I missed one.
I think I'm going to give this a 10. Yeah, there's a shitload of stuff going on, but it kind of reminds me of a couple of the Lev Gleason type crime covers where there was all kinds of stuff going on. Difference was in those covers there was enough dialogue to, literally like fill a chapter in a book. But these were kind of commonplace in those days, and so I think for what it was trying to do, it succeeds.
Okay. Melissa.
Oh my goodness.
You know what this makes me think of? And I know you didn't, I wasn't asked. I can hold my opinion until it comes around to me. But the level, there's a lot of detail in it, but I was trying to think what it makes me think of. And if you took like a Where's Waldo book and put it on a plane instead of a stacked flat perspective, it's that kind of rendering. And I don't know how I feel about that for a war comic.
Well, Waldo's in the background. He's an explosion.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, Red
Or,
Sox.
or something else I was thinking of as Eric was talking. Is you see that going into the distance and the horizon in the background, it almost reminds me of a couple of those New Yorker covers.
Yeah.
Why are they calling them red tanks? They're obviously black.
No.
They're gonna lose the war. They can't tell what the colors are. Jeez.
The explosions are red. The text is red.
I don't know why. Maybe it's just
communists. That's why red.
Yeah.
Communists. Seriously.
Yeah. They're fighting the North Koreans. It's 1950.
All the tanks went ahead, and they are full-on communists.
Yeah.
They're communist too.
They are the communists.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So, Melissa, what score are you going to give this?
I think I'm going to. It's very good.
Well,
I guess for me, I don't. It's very good, so I guess an 8. I don't know why, but it's like I know this is a very tense, dramatic scene, but there's something about the nature of the illustrations, maybe the kind of soft-rounded nature of the title, or something the expressions and poses. It feels almost softer and a little cartoonier than most of the books that I've seen. So it's like if a tiny part of me almost feels like there's something funny about it, but I know it's not. And I'm getting sort of a cognitive dissonance with that sensation, because that's just weird that I feel that way about it. But I think I'll give it, but I still recognize the skill and the pathos of the cover, so I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay, and Amy.
Yeah, I mean the color's nice and the draping of the fabric is nice, but yeah, it's the overall how it comes together is a little confusing to me. So I'll give it an 8 as well.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it was that kind of that cartoonish thing that kind of kept me from giving it a 10 as well. Let's see what the chat says. Well, Cleanser disagrees with me and gives it a 10. Eddie is noting this could be the war genre started. No, I think it started a little bit earlier. I mean, there's definitely World War II comics, so this came after. Joe is also giving it an 8. Manny is giving it a 9. And Eddie is giving it, this is canon, as a 10, so historical events. Mariah is saying, this is how you do a cover with multiple stories. Bottom band with titles, inobtrusive even with annoying arrow, great battle scene, just enough details to sell the book and score a war epic 10. One select dude gives it a 9, says it's busy, but it does work. Brian Jones, 8, it's a solid cover. Eric Jackson is saying, Eric, you're remembering this from Christmas of 1950. Let's see, Jackson gives it a 9. And let's see, any other... no, oh, you're welcome, England team. No problem. We're happy to hop on here on a Sunday night. And let's see, we've got those votes there. And hope you're feeling better as well. So, all right. So for the final comic of tonight, we've got 5 8s, we've got 4 9s, and we've got 5 10s. And that is going to make this a solid, a solid 9. And I think it will displace Tomahawk there. So that is what we have for tonight as our listing. No comic lower than a 7. And we've got some 8s, we got some 9s, and we've got some 10s. So again, if you want to help out in the chat, we are going to go ahead here and put these in some kind of order. Oh yeah, wound up just with 110. I thought we had more, but no. So we have 1-7, the Melody Lane of Broadway, which I think is appropriate. We've got 5 8s. So Venkman, your favorite 8 and your worst 8.
All right, favorite 8, worst 8. Oh, favorite, Betty and Veronica.
Oh, okay.
And
Least favorite.
leave it like it is now.
Okay. Pixel.
Oh wow. Apache Kid is actually my favorite one there.
Okay.
The least
That's
favorite are
why
the
it sucks.
cartoon animals.
The cartoon animals. Okay. Now let me see here. Well, I'm going to keep it here for right now. Just kind of help me remember that it's got one negative vote as well. Eric.
Betty and Veronica is my favorite.
Okay.
And I think Apache Kid's my least favorite.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm going to have to move Apache Kid. I'll move him down over here just because he's the 1+ is. I'm doing England team math now. Melissa.
Okay. In the 8s, the Funny Books and Betty Veronica were probably my 2 favorites.
Okay.
But I guess my least favorite. Maybe Apache Kid too. Yeah, tough
Okay,
calls are all really good.
Okay, so Apache Kid has 3 downvotes. Amy, favorite and least favorite.
Oh man. I guess my favorites were the Rudolph and the Marvel Boy. And least favorite? Gee. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the Funny Animals. It was fine, but maybe either that or the, I don't know, either that or the Betty and Veronica. just because the drawing was a little strange.
Yeah. Okay. But you got to pick one.
But I got to pick one. Okay, I guess I'll say then my least favorite, just because the Betty and Veronica and the little tiny hands kind of creep me out. Just a little bit. Just that I don't know why if it's a censor thing, but just but most favorite, I think I'm gonna go with Marvel Boy.
Marvel Boy is the favorite or least favorite?
Oh, most favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
And Betty and Veronica.
Veronica's least favorite. Okay.
Right. Which is fine.
Wow, we are really all over the place.
I know.
Because honestly, I was going to give Apache Kid probably my favorite. And so now it's basically has like two top votes and 3 bottom votes. So I have no idea how you score that.
Where that goes.
And honestly, probably my least favorite was going to be Funny Folks. And
So I guess like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Anybody have any arguments about the order?
No.
Okay.
Now it looks like Man Boy.
Yeah. Well, that's your problem. We've got 5 nines.
Mine.
5 nines, and let's see. Amy, your favorite and least favorite 9.
Ooh, let's see. Favorite and least favorite. I guess my least favorite would be the war cover, which is not to say it's terrible, just that it's the one that struck me, I think, probably the least.
Okay.
Most favorite? That's tough. I guess probably the Strange Worlds.
So, okay, Strange Worlds is your favorite.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, Melissa.
Strange Worlds is my favorite.
Okay.
My least favorite. Might be the war comic.
Okay. So 2 and 2 that way. Okay, let's see here. Favorite and least favorite, because honestly, yeah, you know what? I'll leave it as it is. 3 and 3. VENKMAN.
Alrighty. Space Adventures. Or Strange Adventures, whatever that is. The one with the astronauts, guys. Space Adventures, right?
Okay.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Least favorite is the Swamp Monsters.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. It's got 3 positive votes and 1 negative vote. So, Eric.
Strange Adventures is my favorite. And I guess since Jesse James is the only one I didn't give a 10 to, that's got to be my least.
Okay. I'll keep it as is. And Pixel.
War is my least favorite.
Okay.
And my favorite. Strange World.
You dying
Strange
there?
World is your least favorite.
No. We're
your favorite.
That's
Okay.
my favorite. War was my least favorite. I started the other way around.
I gotcha. Okay. So yeah, so I had swapped Rudolph and Marvel Boy around because Maranya said that Rudolph was her favorite of the 8s and Marvel Boy was the least favorite. So because Marvel Boy had a negative vote, that puts it behind Rudolph. And then she's saying that War is her favorite and Strange Worlds is her least favorite.
What? Oh, I mean, that's interesting. Nothing wrong with that. Just
It's okay to have that reaction, Amy. We've had that reaction with some of your picks too.
it's not a criticism.
Eddie is saying that Strange Adventure is his favorite. It seems like Strange Adventure here is getting nudged across because Eddie noted that Strange World was his least favorite. So yeah, so I think we're going to go with this combination for now, unless anybody has any objections. Okay, so to wrap things up for tonight, if I can get my mouse to cooperate. The The least book out of our 1950 covers was Melody Lane of Broadway. Then going in reverse order, we had Funny Folks, Apache Kid, Marvel Boy, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Betty and Veronica. And then making up our top our top 6 here, War Comics, Jesse James, Tomahawk is number 4, Strange Worlds is number 3, Strange Adventures number 2, and Black Magic, our only comic tonight to get into the 10 category, is our number 1 comic. And probably everybody, I think, would agree that probably the best cover of the night was Black Magic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you, chat. Thank you, panel. This was another great, successful cover show, and a nice way to spend a Sunday night with some good folks. Does anybody have anything they want to promote or plug?
Well, come watch us on the Geeky Puppet Show. It's fun reading comics with everybody, and just glad to be here and spend some time with everyone and look at some comic covers. This has been a lot of fun.
Awesome. And what is the next Geeky Puppet Show?
Tomorrow, there's more shows.
Tomorrow is, as always, on
day away.
Well, since Pixel's not on Mondays, let me tell you, it's every Monday we do we do Moon Knights and we do Teen Titans Go, the 2004 comic book.
Wahoo!
Oh,
There's
interesting.
Moon Knight over there.
Yeah. Well, if you want to watch a creative interpretation of your favorite comics, tune into the Geeky Puppet Show. And what time will that be tomorrow?
Well, okay, so the reading probably is going to be airing around 8 Eastern.
Okay.
And then the other one is like about an hour after that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
There you go. So again, thank you to Eric, and thank you to Melissa and Amy, and to Professor Pixel, and to RDV for making up the panel tonight. We had a lot of fun. I believe there probably will be another cover tomorrow night. I don't know what Monday night is supposed to be, but it's a surprise to me, and it'll be a surprise to everybody. So tune in. We'll have some fun.
Thanks for hosting the show. Okay, this has been a lot of fun.
Oh, you're welcome. And so this is LK signing off for tonight. Thank you, everybody, and have a good Sunday night. Bye, everybody.
Night.
Night.
Later.
Good night, kids.
Good night.